Hi there, welcome back. My name is Stephanie and I enjoy caring for and posting videos about houseplants. In today's video, you'll be following me along as I do some plant chores. I will be away for a few days from my plants, so this is how I get my plants ready for a few days without me. I know it may seem like a big deal, like your plants will be fine. It's only a few days, and they will be. But because all of my plants, most of them are on different watering schedules, and I check on them every day, a few days without me could mean that a plant needed water while I was gone and it didn't have it. So in this video, you'll follow me along as I top up water and just do a few things to help get my plants ready so they can be as happy as possible for my time away. If you enjoy content like this, plant videos, vlogs, even travel videos, you may want to consider subscribing to the channel. If you enjoyed this video and you found it valuable, you may want to consider giving it a thumbs up. Let's get started. So as you can see, I've already taken this plant out of the soil. I know some people may say, oh my gosh, you're stressing this plant out so much, but it'll be fine. A new leaf just unfurled. It has a little bit of pink in there. I'm not sure if you can see it. And so I'm going to put it up in water now. I washed off as much of the soil as possible. You could still see some soil on here, but that's okay. I don't want to stress the roots out too much. So now I'm going to put it in some water. Yeah, around here, I'm keeping it real. So whenever I'm putting my plants in water, I actually put it in old jars that I have. I mean, I could get some fancy containers and stuff, but why? Why not just recycle and reuse some of these jars? So I actually did not have time to peel off because this label, it's really stuck on there. So I'm just going to use it as is, an old organic marinara sauce jar. So I'm going to put this down here and grab my water, fill it up, and put my plant in. There we go. I'm going to fill it up with water, and then I'm going to pop the roots in. There we go. I'm going to put it in gently and sit it nicely in the water. Eventually, after this plant has some water roots and gets comfortable in the water, I might put it into leca and have it grow in leca. But for now, this is what we have. Looking good. All right. So it's ready to go back on the shelf. I do have a few houseplants growing in water. I believe this is a Pothos Enjoy. So what I'm going to do here is refresh the water. So we're going to pour out the old water and rinse out the flower vase just to make sure that it's nice and fresh and clean to remove excess bacteria. And then we're going to clean off the roots just to make sure that any dead roots are taken off and remove any dead leaves or foliage that it may have. Then we're going to refresh the water by adding fresh water. The fresh water will add some oxygen to the plant's roots, and then I'm going to add some fertilizer into it so that the plants have some actual food to enjoy. All done. It's going to go right back into its cozy spot right next to our television. We're going to repeat this process for the next plant. We're going to refresh its water by getting rid of its old water and adding fresh water into the pot. This is a golden pothos that has reverted, so now it's all green. No matter how much light I've given it, no matter what I've done, chopped it up, propagated it, it's just stayed green for me, and that's okay. Again, we're going to remove any dead foliage, rinse off the leaves and the roots gently, and add it to the fresh water that we've prepared for it. By the way, the extra pair of hands that you're noticing in the video are my mom's. She just loves helping me with my houseplants. So give her a big thumbs up if you like seeing her in my videos. She also has her own houseplants. You can see my low light houseplant tour where you can tour her houseplants. All set. This little guy is ready to go back to its preferred spot. Next is this Monstera Adamsonia that I have growing in water. It used to be in soil, but then I took it out of the soil and placed it into water. I tried leca, but it doesn't like leca. So this water, it has been sitting in this water for a while now. I would say maybe 3 weeks. So it's time to change this water. It's a bit smelly. Yes, this water was smelling a bit frowsy. If you have houseplants living in water, when you see the water getting brown or it starts to smell or have a really bad odor, that's a good indicator that it's time to refresh the water. It's also a good idea to wash the roots, and I know that some like misting or spraying the roots with hydrogen peroxide or even dropping a bit of hydrogen peroxide into the water. So we added fresh water to it with some nutrients, just like the other two, and put it back in. This plant is a really nice plant, but if you're not watering it right, it will give you a lot of brown tips and browning leaves. So if you're not sure how to water this plant, and if you're having a hard time, I recommend putting this plant in water. It will complain and it will have a hard time when you first start it, but after a while, it'll get used to the water. Just make sure to keep changing out the water regularly, getting rid of those old dead soil roots, and it will work really well for you. Before traveling, it's really important to check your plants and see if they need any water. So as you can see, my bird of paradise is dry like a biscuit. So now I'm going to add some water to it. Make sure a little bit is coming out of the catch pot at the bottom. That way I know it got enough water and it'll be ready to go for my trip. It'll hang in there until I get back. I'm just gonna put enough water in there. This plant is also a heavy feeder, so I try to fertilize it every time I water it. A mistake that can be made is after watering your plants, you could forget that there is water left in the catch pot or in the decorative pot. So as you can see, I have some water left in here. So no. We don't want to leave that in here. That's an easy way to have root rot and have yellowing leaves. So definitely we want to make sure that we are going to toss this excess water out and put our plant back into our nice empty pot. Here we go. So I'm gonna weigh this Ficus benjamina, very light. Never had one before, but I'll take it. From what I know about all my other ficuses is that they don't mind drying out a little bit. So I'm just gonna slowly pour some coffee in, some water in. Does that mean I need coffee? Does that mean I need coffee? Probably. But I can't, or else I won't sleep tonight. Again, I just use, like, you may hear something going in here. I accidentally dropped some leca in here and haven't taken it out as yet. Oh well. So yeah, I'm just gonna pour it all in and pour in to completely saturate the soil until I see some coming out of the bottom. And I know it's hard enough. So there we go. I believe it's hard enough. It's sitting on some rocks in there, but the water comes up just a little bit to the bottom of the pot. That's okay, because I want it to, sometimes the water seeps through very quickly and I want it to be able to pick up any water that it might need, not excess, but any water that may have slipped through too quickly. I want to give it a chance to really absorb some water, and then Then I will pour out any water that's still touching the bottom of the pot. A few things I did off camera. Change the water that's in here. And I did it for this one and this one. So far, so good. It's growing. The new leaf is coming along really well. So these are just some propagations that I've had. I'm just topping up the water. You're doing well. They're right here next to the south facing window. They don't get any direct sunlight, but they just get a lot of bright light. Oops, not too much. There we go. Even if it's not that low, I still like to top it up because I want to add fresh nutrients to the water. So this guy here, this is my Pink Lady Turtle Vine. It's a bit light. It's a lot lighter than when I last watered it. So, and if you notice, it's leaning towards the light. So it was like this. And if you notice, it's sort of pulling towards the light a bit. So today I'm going to give it just a little bit of water, but I'm going to turn it around. It's just hanging here. So you see how everything's pulling this way? I'm just going to turn it around and give it a little bit of a drink and let the water catch in the bottom here, in the bottom tray. There we go. And then I'm just going to leave it there again for a few minutes, and then I'm going to toss the excess water that it's not using. The last house plant on my list of chores today is my Monstera deliciosa. I water it with a little bit of fertilizer every single time I water it, and it loves this because it constantly pushes out new growth. I recently put it by this west facing window, and the new leaves tend to have holes or fenestrations in it, so I'm really hoping that this new leaf also has one. What's really shocking though is that this new leaf already seems to have a new leaf coming through. It is rare. I don't see this very often, and I'm hoping that the camera is capturing it well, but I'm really excited. And I'm just checking to see if it's too tight, if it's going to unfurl well, but I'm touching it gently and it seems fine. I'm not sure if this counts as houseplant chores, but maybe just plant chores. I'm really surprised at how well this cucumber plant is doing, considering that the leaves look so weak and tired. I just got 3 massive cucumbers, and I feel like there's more in here. See? Whoa, this one is huge. Can you see it? It's so prickly. Come on, just break off, please. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Like, yeah. This is huge. I'm gonna have to give some away to my mom. This is my hand. And this is the size. This is how big these little guys are. Yeah, let's see. So there's this guy here. You think he should stay a little bit longer, this guy? How do you tell when cucumbers are ready? Since I'm already here. There we go. It's a tiny one. Sometimes there's absolutely nothing on my vine, like absolutely nothing, and then all of a sudden there are a million cucumbers ready at the same time. It'd be a bit selfish of me to ask you to grow at my own pace, but at my preferred pace, but at least it encourages sharing. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I appreciate you spending some of your day with me. If you haven't already, you may want to check out some of these other videos. You can also subscribe by clicking this button right there. Thank you for watching. See you next time.